friends, or actually good morning. So, another day in Grozny. This is the house I was talking about last night. Dobre utro. So, today on the schedule is, well, going obviously to the racetrack again. I'm going to cover mostly the Russian Time Attack Championship, because that's the final day of today. And tomorrow more about the autocross, maybe something today as well. But anyway, gotta get my stuff and hurry because everyone's waiting for me. This is the largest mosque of Europe I was talking about. It's called the Heart of Chechnya. I didn't know that Puma was making gas stations. And apparently you ride Shell with only one L. Currently 8:30 in the morning. We got 1.5 hours left before the RHHCC. Such a hard name. Well, the Russian Time Attack Championship will start, so we have 1.5 hours, and we decided to go to local markets to buy Boris some local traditional Chechen gear. Well, let's go. The trip to the market was highly successful. This is what I got. It's called papacha, and I just looked it up on Wikipedia in English. Some people call it Astrakhan hat, and basically it looks like this. Just need my casual glasses, and wish that Boris has traditional Chechen Republic image, or actually Caucasian image. Also got some t-shirts to complete my Chechen image with Ahmad Kadyrov, the father of current president of Chechen Republic. In unity is our strength. Very patriotic. Yeah, I'm gonna go to the briefing, check it out, check out some races, check out some cars, and go to the autocross because Vitaly is participating today in the practice. Another competition which is also taking place today is the autocross. This is Vitaly. He's going to compete in this Lada 8 series. They have an own monocup, well, which means they have their own independent championship. Everyone drives a Lada 8. So let's see how it looks.
Прошу обратить внимание, что есть белые линии. Выезд 4 колесами, 3 за пределы гоночной дорожки, 4, да, наказывается
аннулированием времени круга.
Okay, Time Attack. Some brief explanation about the sport. What makes the sport so popular is because you race actually against yourself, against your time. Although you have multiple cars on the track, but you don't actually battle them because the fastest time of your own lap counts. Like, well, if you go go-karting at a local center, sometimes, well, usually they use the same procedure. This particular championship of Russia involves multiple classes. So, for example, we have here highly modified Evo. I hope to go on a passenger lap later with this. Less modified Toyota. No, I think a Mazda. Not sure. Yeah, don't blame me. Anyway, like I told you before, this particular championship has 8 classes. We see here 8 rows of cups. Actually, it has 9 classes, but one class didn't make it, and it's a supercar class, so Ferraris and so on, they didn't make the trip. Well, none of them decided to make the trip to the city of Grozny. So we have here, which starts from Class City Lights, Warm Street, and so on, up until Super Race. So basically, you can start racing with your own car, which has pretty much zero modifications except for what exhausts, ECU tuning, and so on, and already be competitive in your own class. For example, this. Yeah, let's have a look. A BMW 1 Series. Most important is what I wanted to tell you by this car. It has no roll cage in it, and roll cage is like very important point of modifications, but also how should I say it right, like a border. So a lot of people do not want to put a roll cage and decide, well, not to race, because a lot of championships and so on make it mandatory to have a roll cage in your car. So in this case you can just decide to race in lower classes, although still with heavy competition, or go for race. So they have 9 different classes. Today they have I believe around 35 participants. Usually the organization told me they have around 200 when the races are organized around Moscow or Smolensk or in the middle of Russia, not here. So a lot of competitors decided not to make the trip because of the distance or prejudices about the region or whatsoever. But anyway, I hope you got some more insights. So let's have a look at the cars. Skoda. I don't believe I've ever seen a Skoda race car, but hey, here it's possible. Very nice graphics, reminds me of my childhood. And a Clio, one of the most popular cars around Nürburgring. And well, pretty much everywhere. Not very expensive, but very high performant. Here's another pretty professional aspect of Russian Time Attack Championship. No matter which class you are in, after every pass, whether it was training or qualifier or well, your hot lap, you have to come back in the pits and put your car on the weights, on the scales, to measure your weight, because the regulations require that your class has a certain weight limit, and you know, weight is pretty essential, just as essential as the horsepower. So to prevent people from cheating and like removing additional weight after the technical checks, they have to do it all the time. Although, like I told you earlier, there is little chance of an accident with other competitors, you can still go off the track because of weather conditions, or even worse. So I probably won't be going as a passenger with this one, but this is least of my worries. According to the driver's statement, he slid over a curbstone and it's currently raining slightly. He's running full slicks. So yeah, that's what he gets. It's highly unfortunate. Luckily, as you could have seen, he's still laughing. The car is fixable. Could have been a lot worse. I know that a lot worse things can happen. So yeah, thumbs up. As you can see, the weather is getting pretty bad. It's raining, the track is very wet, and I cannot make the passenger lap in the red Evo because, well, obviously it crashed. But I still want to finish my day with a passenger lap, and I'm gonna do it in one of those. The Volkswagen Scirocco modified by Epix Motorsport. And I'm familiar with those cars because, as you know, we have 4 of them back at Nordschleife on the Nürburgring, but they are stock. Well, apart from brakes and suspension modifications, but those are completely tuned, or completely stage whatever 1, 2, 3 tuning. They told me that they modified the ECU, the downpipes, the exhaust, suspension, brakes. Obviously we don't need a lot of brakes because it's wet, but yeah, I'm pretty excited to see how the thing will go around the track when it's slightly tuned. Let's go! as often as it can get in the wet weather conditions. The weather is getting worse by every minute. Luckily, we have had enough action that I could see and film for you guys. Yeah, the day is also, well, it's almost ending. So I'm gonna find Vitaly and see what our plans are. Oh, hello. I wonder whether that's a mechanic or a marshal. I think a marshal. I never seen this kind of flag that he's waving. But hey, interesting marshal that Fort Grozny has. But before we go home, it's time for the award ceremony. As you can see, there is no champagne because there is no alcohol allowed in Chechen Republic.
Ну и первое место уже не в первый раз, но в новом классе Кореева Марина. Девушки у нас в очередной раз наказывают мужчин.
Давай, спортсмен. So there is no alcohol allowed in Chechen Republic, so this is the only socializer enhancement that we are using. Yeah, so that's it for today. Tomorrow we have another day at the track of Grozny, and we only have the autocross. And Vitaly, which is currently away, he's going to race. He won the qualifier today, so I expect a lot from him tomorrow. And yeah, that's it. Have a good night and see you tomorrow.